Top 10 important nutrition facts. Making sure you maintain good nutrition is a big part of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. However, with all the new diets and regimens out available to us, it can be intimidating for those starting out. Here, we got for you 10 of the best nutrition facts that actually make a lot of sense. Number 1. Carbs don't make you fat. The biggest myth surrounding weight loss is that carbohydrates make you fat and you should give up on them totally. You may have been often advised to cut down on your carb intake, but avoiding them completely is definitely not required. While trying to lose weight quickly, most of us end up ruling out carbohydrates completely from our diet. By doing so, you are not only hampering your weight loss goals, but also putting your overall health at stake. You need to know that not all carbohydrates are the same, and it is the type, quality, and quantity of carbohydrates in our diet that plays a crucial role. There are 3 different types of carbohydrates found in food: sugar, starch, and fiber. If you are aiming to shed those extra pounds, you need to cut down on the carbohydrates particularly derived from sugars. Starch and fiber are components of complex carbohydrates. Increasing the intake of these types of carbohydrates is advisable. Number 2. Foods that are gluten-free does not mean it's healthy. Don't believe the tales that without gluten your digestion will improve, so you'll absorb fewer kilojoules. Most folk with celiac have trouble with their digestion and lose a lot of weight before they get a correct diagnosis. Foods sold as gluten-free, such as biscuits, flour, and bread mixtures, are made from purified starches such as maize starch, white rice flour, potato flour, tapioca starch, and soy flour. When you remove gluten, you remove the thing that gives the bread and cakes elasticity and a pleasing texture, allowing them to be aerated. So gluten-free flours, baking mixers, and breads need the help of specialty ingredients like fibers and stabilizing gums. Plus, eating gluten-free day in day out needs planning, checking of all food labels, and constant scrutiny when you eat out. There's no way to tell if the food you love really is free of gluten or wheat-free before you order it. Number 3. Meat doesn't rot in your colon. Meat takes days to digest and just sits rotting in your gut. That's probably a sentence you hear from a vegan as the reason why they don't eat meat, and comes up as a good reason to have colonic irrigation. But is it really true? It is entirely false that meat rots in your colon. Your body is well equipped to digest and absorb all the important nutrients found in meat. It will generally leave the stomach in 2 to 3 hours and be fully digested in 4 to 6 hours. Our digestive system is well designed to digest meat in order to use its wide range of body essential nutrients, such as iron and B vitamins. Meat, along with other protein food, such as fish, are known to be more satisfying than starchy carbohydrate foods like bread and pasta, particularly over a long period of time. This means we feel full for longer. Number 4. Eggs are one of the healthiest foods you can eat. Eggs are among the most nutritious foods on the planet. A whole egg contains all the nutrients required to turn a single cell into a baby chicken. However, it is true that eggs are high in cholesterol, but it's important to keep in mind that cholesterol in the diet doesn't necessarily raise cholesterol in the blood. The liver actually produces large amounts of it every single day. When you increase your intake of dietary cholesterol, your liver simply produces less to even it out. It also raises HDL, which stands for high density lipoprotein. It is often known as the good cholesterol. People who have higher levels of HDL usually have a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and other health problems. Eating eggs is a great way to increase HDL. In one study, eating 2 eggs per day for 6 weeks increased HDL levels by 10%. Number 5. Low fat doesn't mean healthy. Low-fat diets in which calories from fat sources are cut dramatically were once considered the best way to reduce body fat and lower the risk of heart disease and even cancer. Today, we know more about how dietary fat affects the body. Recommendations now center on promoting some fats while limiting others. In general, a low-fat diet is one in which no more than 20 to 35% of daily calories come from any fat source. An updated take on this would be to cut out trans fat and reduce intake of saturated fats while still consuming unsaturated fats. Randomized trials have similarly failed to show a heart health benefit to a low-fat diet. Additional studies have failed to show a reduced risk of cancer with low-fat diets or that low-fat diets are associated with less obesity. Number 6. Fruit juice isn't that different from sugary soft drinks. The fruit is healthy and fruit juice is a convenient way to drink your nutrients, so what could be wrong with a daily dose of fruit juices? Unfortunately, most fruit juices, organic or otherwise, flood your body with as much sugar as soda. Juicing a whole fruit into liquid requires a lot of processing. A glass of juice with pulp or without, organic or otherwise, is not nutritionally equivalent to whole fruit. Both soda and 100% fruit juice contain 110 calories and 20 to 26 grams of sugar per 240 ml. According to various researches, sugary drinks are linked to a higher risk of illness such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Soda and juices have been grouped together because of their sugar content. However, they do not affect you the same way. Only 100% fruit juice still has nutritional benefits rather than sugar-sweetened juice. Number 7. Weight loss supplements rarely work. According to studies, weight loss supplements rarely work. The Product Ratings Group surveyed 3,000 Americans and found that almost 1 in 4 people of those who have used diet pills, only 9% of them were able to lose the weight they wanted and maintain the weight loss. And that may not even be due to the pills. 85% of those weight loss success stories also involve diet and exercise changes. The barrage of advertising leads us to think there's a magic way to melt away 10 pounds, even when we have no evidence that supplements work. 20% of users thought that supplements were approved by the Food and Drug Administration and therefore safe, when in reality they don't require the same regulations as prescription pills. Number 8. Health is about more than your weight. We all know the struggle of a fickle scale. You weigh yourself after one unhealthy meal and you've gained 5 pounds, only for the blip to even out over the next week. While it's tempting to focus only the number on the scale, it's not a great indicator of how healthy you are because your weight fluctuates hour to hour due to food, salt intake, exercise, and even the weather. While you shouldn't completely discount the number on the scale, it only tells a very small piece of the story. Instead of staring at your weight every morning, check out these health markers that'll give you a much more complete state of affairs, like blood pressure, resting heart rate recovery, waist to hip ratio, cholesterol levels, and inflammation. Number 9. Junk food can be addictive. People tend to get cravings when the brain starts calling for certain foods, often processed foods that aren't considered healthy or nutritious. Even though the conscious mind knows they're unhealthy, some other part of the brain seems to disagree. Some people don't experience this and can easily control types of foods they eat, while others can't. The fact is, junk food stimulates the reward system in the brain in the same way as addictive drugs, such as cocaine. For susceptible people, eating junk food can lead to full-blown addiction, which shares the same biological basis as drug addiction. There is a system in the brain called the reward system. The system was designed to reward the brain when a person is doing things that encourage survival. This includes primal behaviors like eating. The brain knows that when a person eats, they're doing something right, and it releases feel-good chemicals in the reward system. The problem with modern junk food is that it can cause a reward that is way more powerful than any reward the brain can get from whole foods. And finally, number 10. Never trust health claims on packaging. People are more health conscious than ever before. The food manufacturers are well aware of this and have found ways to market junk food to health conscious people as well. They do this by adding misleading labels like whole grain or low fat. You can find many unhealthy junk foods with these health claims, such as whole grain Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs. These labels are used to trick people into thinking that they're making the right choice for themselves and their children. If the packaging of a food tells you it's healthy, chances are it isn't.